The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tokutalk. Got something,
This is an indulgence.
This is an indulgence. I suggested this last time we recorded as not a palate cleanser, but a dessert to follow up our Boon Boonja review, which we just finished recording. So here we are to talk about the pipeline between Toku and BL.
Yes, because it is strong, it hasn't stopped, and it's still ongoing. As like you tell by my shimmy with happiness. The pipeline, though.
In case you haven't noticed, this is going to be mostly him.
It's such a joke in the community, in the Toku community as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But the Toku to BL pipeline is such a thing. It seems to have gone on basically forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't help but appreciate that. And it seems like it's becoming more popular because the properties of the things that they are adapting in live action are more popular as things goes on.
Mm-hmm. What's an example?
Cherry Magic, which has it's Kamen Rider, the second one from Build.
Okay.
Yes. Once you hit 30 and you're still a virgin, you gain magical powers. You can read other people's minds.
This sounds familiar. I believe I know this premise.
It's really good.
Did this get an anime adaptation?
Yes.
That's why I know it.
It's either I believe it got an anime adaptation, but it has a manga, which I did read.
The manga is what I know of. I remember reading about the manga premise.
I like the manga a lot. I don't believe I've seen the anime adaptation. I need to double check to see if there is one. But I have seen the live action. Also, apparently there's a movie, and I haven't seen that, which I believe might end up being the second story, or they're just retelling it, but with the same actors, which is wild.
Is the show good?
Yes, the show is quite good. I really like the premise as it was, and I read it a couple years ago, and I'm just like, oh, this is great. It's also funny that both of the actors from Build, the main two, ended up being in BLs almost at the same time. Different ones.
I was going to say not the same one, but...
No. But Build's main actor was in I'm in a BL World. And he's the only one who realizes it.
Huh.
It's still ongoing.
Not exactly a subtle title, but I understand.
It's so funny.
Okay.
It's basically just him knowing all of the tropes and not wanting to get involved. It's so good. Not the biggest fan of that live action adaptation, though.
Okay.
If only because of the fact that it ends with him getting with Lupin Red's actor.
So he's in it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes sense because Lupin. But I think the problem with that is the fact that it happened so quickly when it really shouldn't have happened at all. It really I think they were trying to give, everybody gets somebody. But it's funnier when he doesn't. Because he doesn't want this at all. But the rest of it, and I believe there's a second and third season, it's quite good. It's really quite good. And that's just outside of the thing itself. In Toku itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I do mean in Toku itself.
Yes.
I've talked about it several times. It just came in our Boon Boonja review as well. They know. They know. They know a lot.
They've known all along.
It seems like, especially with the Fujoshi, because the Fujoshis came out so strong for Lupin. I mean, so strong. And they came out for Dombros. I know they also came out for Zenkaiger because Kaito and Stacy was a thing.
Mm.
And I'm rather sure they also came out for King Oger. Most of you...
Jeremy and...
Gira.
Sorry, I was freezing on his name for a second there.
That ended up becoming, for some reason, a whole separate thing. And it's also just really funny because sometimes when Gira is sitting in his throne, Jeremy's standing next to him, sort of as his the king's consort, because that's where they usually end up standing. They know a little bit too much. But it's also really funny for me.
How so?
It just works. every single time. I mean, they've done adaptations of some of the most popular BL over the past couple years, Given being a major example, with Zio's actor being in that, along with Maha being in it as well. Couple of movies. X-Aid's actor shows up quite a lot, and there's one comedy movie where he is getting married to his husband, but the parents don't know the gender of the other person.
Oh.
And shenanigans ensue. It's just... I don't know what their agencies are doing in some cases, but it's like, okay, if you want to get popular, usually this is going to be your first stop. Or I feel like in a really good way, it's helping people like, okay, these are normal people. In general, it's not just for...
It doesn't feel exploitative.
No, it doesn't feel exploitative. I really think that... I feel like the biggest thing you saw around this, honestly, was Given. Given got huge as a property. I read the manga before the anime came out. And it just got really, really big, really fast. And it was an actual, gay love story in this. And it's a good drama. And it feels like, okay, it doesn't feel like, oh, we're baiting you. No, this is going to be the actual experience of these people. It doesn't feel like Free. Free was bait. Man, the Fujoshi went crazy over it, and that thing made a lot of money. But it was bait.
A lot of seasons.
A lot of seasons. A lot of prequels. Still mad. Oh, my God. Yuri on Ice. I will never. I will never recover. I will never recover. I will never recover. There is no recovery. I'm still in pain.
I'm sorry.
I'm so upset. I'm so upset that Kiyoani canceled Ice Adolescence. I'm good. I'm not good. I'll never be good. Never be good. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I've noticed. And it's why I make fun of Gotchard as much as I do amongst all the other problems with it. It's too heterosexual for its own good. That's where it failed. Amongst all the other issues with it. Man, did that show just fail. That's what happens. This is why we have Hanto and Gav being Hanto and Gav in Gav right now. And the whole NTR thing that I mentioned, they were at...
You mentioned this in the Boom Boonja review. Go ahead and elaborate.
Yeah, it's basically when the third writer comes in, who's played by Kirame Silver.
Okay.
Is basically Gav is going off with him for a good part. And then when Hanzo ends up figuring out that Gav is actually, a Granute like the rest of the bad guys, he's with Ramp, who's Kirame Silver.
Yeah. And
they end up saying something about that in the most recent stage show with all the openings and everything. They talk about that. This is an event for kids. And they end up bringing up the NTR thing. And then...
Did they actually say that?
Yes. And then Hanto punches Gav in the face. I'm sorry, I just cannot remember Gav's names off the top of my head. But he ends up punching him in the face. And they talk about that scene. And he said, it felt good. He's like, wait. But it basically just ended up being like, oh, this is now a three-way relationship where you're cheating on one with the other guy. And I'm just like, and they have Glauta's actor, the lady who plays the older sister. She's like, oh, this is cinema.
It's cinema. It's the movies.
I gotta see if I can find this clip, but it came up the other day and it was the greatest thing with Neil's actor. But yeah, there's a lot of BL out there. A lot of it, I mean, even from 2010, just going back. You got Agri and Ultraman Mebius in it. There's a lot. There's a lot from the Toku to BL pipeline, and I don't ever want them to stop.
And you said you feel like you've seen this get a lot bigger in recent years.
Yeah.
And, speaking of what I know about, how we see trends of things come and go, and I guess it feels like they're finally starting to realize this is a viable market.
It is a very
It's a viable market to an underserved audience, and now they're getting fed.
Yes. My God, yes. I think the biggest thing that ends up coming with that is just like how much money is coming in from a lot of these properties, given sold a lot in terms of sales, merchandise. Even with King Oger this past couple of years, we're selling a lot of things outside of the show, but it's like they have those special couples keychains and things like that. And
those are cute.
With Kamakiri and Papillon Oger, that was like the GL couple, even though Papillon Oger is non-binary. Mm-hmm. That was like, oh, we have this. Speaking of GL, there is one going on right now with Kirame Pink and Ryo Soul Pink called Call Me By No Name that is airing at the moment. There isn't a lot of GL from what I've seen, though, from a lot of these. But I don't know how big the GL market is, just based on what I end up paying attention to in terms of every time I go over there. But I know there is...
We'll see if you do this year.
Yeah, I know there is a market for it, but I just don't think it's as big as the BL market. That could end up saying something about a very patriarchal society that Japan is, but... You think of something like this, it really wouldn't matter as much. I mean, we have a lot of GL anime, like Citrus, Yuri Yuri, Madoka, which is a magical girl anime, but disguised.
Well, it is. It's just subverted.
Yeah. It's
not what you would expect from a traditional magical girl show when you hear those words.
Yeah. But I know, it's just... a lot of things I end up, especially because Kamen Maha just seems to be on this list a lot. So, I need to go watch some of these. I could probably just go find them.
What do you think is the best one you've seen so far? As far as which one features an actor that we have, talked about in one of our shows.
Gira's actor was in one last year.
Oh, cool.
There's something with him and an older man. I need to go watch that too. But the best one I've seen, and I have seen quite a few, I'm honestly probably going to give it to Cherry Magic. Okay. If only because it felt the closest to the source material.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, the Toku to BL pipeline. They do it in Toku. They'll just go on to do it here where they can actually touch each other. Wait. No, that's accurate. Because in Cherry Magic, he loses his powers.
Oh, dear.
That's what he said. Well, he said something else.
Anata?
But yeah, this is just a fun video for me.
I enjoyed sitting next to you while this happened. But this has been Tokutalk. Yes. I hope you enjoyed this trip down the BL pipeline with us.
What is your favorite one? Because I know some of you have seen some of them. What are your favorite ones? Let us know in the comments below. Have you seen the Kamen Rider Blade video? You know what I'm talking about. Don't forget to join us all the days. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.